Welcome back to Shooting Womp Rats, where I apparently have seemed to have lost my mind after the holidays. I'm Daniel.
I'm Don, and I have no mind.
Hey, of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most.
My mind? What happened to my mind? Mind? Ah! Boom, boom, boom.
We had at least I had a great holiday. I don't know about Don. I hope all of you have had a good Christmas or Life Day, New Year's. What about you, Don?
Mine was okay, actually. We had a really nice ham. My father, who has dementia and who's in a home, was with us for a couple of days. Extremely stressful. Let's see. The kid went to grandma's house. The wife cried. We had sickness and plague running through the house for everybody. Yeah, it was just a typical life day. Yes, I'm telling you. I mean, not everybody's Christmas is a Hallmark moment. No, it's just not. So you didn't have plague running through your house, did you?
No, luckily I did not have the plague running through the house. It kind of hit. One would have it, then the other kid would have it.
Oh, dude. Oh,
the wife and I didn't get it.
You are so lucky. Maybe it's just a plague that's like rests in the Mississippi River Valley that is Iowa. But, oh my God, let's see. My father got sick on Wednesday, Christmas Eve. But he was able to shake it off really, really quick. So we thought, maybe it's just a touch of food poisoning. Christmas rolls around. And let's see, our house guest comes home. He's sick. Two of his brothers have become sick. We drop off the kid with her grandma on Friday. The wife comes down sick on Saturday. I come down sick on Sunday. The kid comes back on Tuesday, probably gets sick on Wednesday. Oh my gosh. It was not pretty, man. It was a technicolor funk fest. I'm telling you, it was bad.
That's nasty.
It was nasty, dude. At one point, you know what? I'm just going to float this one out there because it's true. I mean, if there's anybody out there who's family, I mean, you've got to have had this before. Sharing a single bathroom with your spouse when you are both sick. Any idea how that works?
Nasty.
Yeah, one gets the toilet and one hangs their butt over the edge of the tub. Hey, we're redneck in Iowa, brother.
That's right. And time for the news now.
Yes, time for the news. That was not it, guys.
As soon as we grossed out all of our listeners here. Adventure Seed 60, the mission type is to steal a starship. The terrain type is 0G, so you're looking at space, maybe actually underwater. Mission complication is religious zealots. The mission opposition is special missions platoon with heavy vehicle support. So you're looking at ATSTs, AT-ATs, or tanks. There's no special hazard this time.
Don't need one.
Yes, that's enough as it is. Coming off the top of my head, I deal with Rebellion era. Your heroes have to steal a prototype freighter from the Empire. It is currently docked in orbit around a planet on the rim. A nice little secluded area that can be developed with, or if you want to take it to the next level, put them on quad.
See, I'm thinking Clone Wars era. Listen to this spin, brother. I just came up with this off the top of my head. All right? All right. It's a special ship by the CIS that is on a certain planet. It's actually trapped in a natural occurring 0G area, which is worshipped by these religious zealots who will not allow anybody to the ship or off of the ship. And that the mission opposition is the CIS has dropped troops on the planet to get this ship back.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So now the players have to deal with either placating or sneaking around the zealots while at the same time fighting off his platoon?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Character Tuesday?
All right, Character Tuesday. We have a unique set this week. It's two. It's Eenie and Meenie. And Daniel has gone off and used his skills at Elite Speak. Those are actually E33N1 and M33N1E. And these are they're two Dumb Series pit droids. Basically, their current owner is a freighter captain named Doss Moan. And the droids are different models of the same series, with Meanie being the newest. And Eenie is not very smart, even compared to other Class 2 droids, but he does have a virtual heart of gold and a childlike demeanor. Seemingly, he seems to take joy from simple things like, well, trees, flowers, fountains, flowing water, interior plumbing, etc. I mean, Enie's a, sort of Rain Man of droids, basically. Now, Meanie, in contrast, is a surly droid on par with the infamous R2, and he's also very foul-mouthed, so it's lucky he doesn't speak basic. Now, he is also quick to anger, and though he looks at Meanie as basically a dumb droid, he does take exceedingly good care of him. Though of contrasting personalities, because they're on polar opposites. All right, they both share a skill set for repairing starship systems, which is something unique because Dumb Series droids cannot normally do that. They work on vehicles. Now, Eenie and Meanie were part of a junk shipment several years ago, and while in hyperspace, Doss was awakened by strange sounds in his ship. And he investigated, and what he found was that the two droids had found and repaired a fault in the hyperspace fold modulator, something that he would not have been able to find, and if had been left unchecked, could have caused catastrophic damage to his ship. So essentially, they were part of the junk shipment he was taking from point A to point B. Now, the thing that's really kind of cool about these Dumb Series droids is that though they're only 1 meter tall, these droids are tough and physically strong, able to carry many times their own weight. And to give you an example of this, if you remember from The Phantom Menace when they're off doing the what is that stupid pod race thing? What is that called? The something classic.
Oh, the Boonta Eve Classic.
There you go, Boonta Eve Classic. All right, there's one of them that's walking in front of one of the pod racers, and it gets sucked in the fan and spit out the back. Yeah, it was cute, but here's the thing: it got up and kept doing its job. Mm-hmm. That's how tough it was. So think about that with these guys. So I don't know. I like these guys, and Daniel did a great job statting them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's not like I'm going to tell my partner he sucks. So
Rumor Wednesday. I heard a salvager was doing his thing on a planet where a large battle took place during the Clone Wars. Now people are saying he's finding some amazing stuff. I guess he was making a lot of credits, and then he disappeared. I heard all that was left was a broken data pad he left with his agent.
Yes, in quotation marks, agent. You'd come up with an idea for this, I remember.
Yeah, it wasn't the Clone Wars. It was a great hyperspace war. I don't know about any data pad, but a droid did show up, half torn apart by what looks like an animal.
An animal. Do you have any more you want to add to that, sir? Would you care to make a roll? You want to spend a character point?
That could have been a lilac.
Yeah, it was a lilac. It was just kind of funny because you and I just converted that today.
Yep.
How awesome. Yeah, just so you guys know, we'll hit on it later. But yeah, Daniel and I collaborated on a creature. Can't wait. Hey, Brett had also tossed in on this rumor. He said, rumors I hear suggest that said salvager found himself a working lightsaber. That's when the Imperials showed up and made life miserable for him. The lesson learned here is never broadcast your amazing finds too loudly. You never know who or what is listening in.
Yeah, the guy probably couldn't figure out the right end of the lightsaber and cut himself in half.
Yeah, he did the Luke Skywalker maneuver where you look down the emitting end of your lightsaber and press the button. If anybody looks at that, yeah, go back and take a look at A New Hope. Yeah.
Mike Fraley says, nah, it wasn't the Imperials. The guy was selling weapons off the salvage site, cut out the middleman. Turns out there was a middleman that took unkindly to being cut out.
Oh, he was mean. James Spahn, final guy that actually chimed in on this, had suggested, I heard it was a rogue Jedi who came looking for him when he found his lightsaber. The ENN said that an unknown Jedi Knight terrorist attacked the salvager and left him for dead. ISB agents were hot on the trail, and the Jedi had discovered the poor scavenger dying as he bled to death on the surface of the planet. Arr. Squinty eye, arr.
I know you had a Planet Thursday number 60, didn't you?
I don't remember if I do, but I did not add it in the script. Tell you what, we'll look for it for next episode. Maybe we'll give you guys a bonus, 2 planets for 1.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I know that the last couple of weeks I've been sort of remiss on getting stuff posted in a timely fashion. I do believe I've got like 2 or 3 planets. I just haven't finished them up. I've been sort of remiss. I'm a bad boy. I'm so bad. Beat me. I like it.
Okay, since you like that so much, let's just go on to the buffet, so I don't have to use brain bleach.
Brain breach.
Oh, now it's time to step up to the Bronto buffet.
Yep, I tell you what, this week there have been some pretty cool things. Going to start off by tooting my own horn because, well, you know, that's me. I toot my own horn, and I never leave the house. So, let's see. This week I had provided new stats or stats for new vehicles that had not been available before. First of all is the Corellian CR100 Corvette. Which is, I think it's a New Jedi era or New Republic era, I can't remember off the top of my head, upgrade of the Corellian CR90, which is the ship that appears in A New Hope at the beginning, the blockade runner. Got a very cool picture with it. There's also the Stiletto-class light Corvette, and I took a stab at the Tector-class Star Destroyer. I didn't realize it, but apparently C.R. McNeil over on Ranker Pit had previously posted his version of the stats and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's 2 of them out there available for you. You can find them both easily. Take a look at them, see which one floats your boat. Your mileage may vary. Use them for your game. Doesn't matter which one. But there are 2 versions out there. And finally, I did the Vigil-class Corvette. Love that. I love saying Corvette. It just kind of rolls off the Corvette. I tell you what, man, not to be like strange or anything like that, but I'd rather have Corvette roll off the tongue than frigate. I'm just saying frigate.
Frigate you, man. Okay?
Yeah, frig you. Frig him. Frig the whole damn planet. All of you. Anyway.
Brett Brzezinski brings us Ayota Madani, a female Baragwan arms dealer turned rebel informant. It's an NPC set in Brett's upcoming game set during the time of Star Wars Rebels, which is around 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yep. 4 to 5 years, Star Wars Rebels. That's officially when that time is set. I like this. I think this actually started out as Brett had thrown out an Aliens challenge. Where people were suggesting or making characters based upon different alien races. It could either be a favorite of yours or a unique one. Like this one, the Baragwan, is not a race that you see a lot of people using because, well, quite honestly, they're butt ugly. I mean, we're talking like baboon butt ugly. I mean, that big flaming red butt, yeah, that's what they look like. They're flaming red butts running around. So, but anyway, I like the character a lot. And in fact, I do believe, I want to say that Brett was going to run his Rebels this last weekend or it's this weekend. I don't remember. I'll have to double check with him. James Spahn this week, who has a penchant for first edition. He just likes it better, and that's fine. You know what? Whatever flavor you're using, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, everybody can get along and enjoy. But he had thrown up a couple of really cool things. He put up the Mobquet Andromeda A Repulsor Steed, which if anybody remembers the old, what is it, Brave Star? Do you remember that, Daniel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where you had the Native American sheriff out on the prairie with his cyber horse. That's what it reminded me of, a Repulsor Steed.
Strength of the Bear.
Yeah, that's the one. And he had made a couple of seeds were involved in it as well, in that there was like a number of different races that people could take part in. And I thought that was kind of cool. Coming back to the Future, he had come up with something called the Incom H15 repulsor board. And I remember almost a little over a year ago, I had come up with something similar, except mine were like rocket skates or a repulsor surfboard, something like that. And he came up with this. I loved the picture for it. And goodness, what else was there about that? I mean, there's a lot of good things about that. I mean, James has got some talent. And moving on, he also did the Night Sister energy bow. And gosh, I'm trying to think. Oh, he did a character write-up, which was Alejandro Mendoza, blah, 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 who was an exiled.
I'll take this one for you.
Go ahead, you go for it.
Alejandro Mendoza Destreza de Pelgia.
Woohoo! He did it.
This guy's an exiled saber rig, formerly of the Tapani sector.
See, Daniel wanted this one just because he wanted to say Tapani. It just rolls off the tongue. Tapani. Do you think anybody in the editing room, when they came up with the name for that, went, you know what, sounds too much like Tampax? I'm serious. You think anybody thought of that when they were doing it? The last thing that James had offered up to the community was actually sort of very unique. It was a template called the Disgraced Dark Apprentice. And basically what it came down to is he's now working for the Alliance to advance his own schemes of vengeance on the Emperor and Darth Vader. So he's not a good guy by any means. It just so happens that the Alliance sort of like aligns with his need for revenge. So good job, James.
Absolutely. And I have a little bit of reservation concerning that template because, to me, it can go sideways really quick.
Oh, absolutely.
That much power in a player's hands. But if you find that one player that you can trust to do the role and they want it, yeah, it would work out great.
Well, I tell you, when I spoke with James about this one, I mean, he pretty much said that it was probably an unplayable template, that more than likely it would be an NPC. And it's really funny that this came about because there is a fellow, something Williams, I can't remember the first name, who has done his own version of Star Wars using the D6 mechanics as his basis. But I mean, he's really home ruled it a lot, and it's called I want to say it's called Star Wars D6 Advanced or something like that. But anyway, he is running a game, or is taking part in a game on Roll20 that a former player of his is going to be using his rules so he can play. And the character that he is playing happens to be exactly this. Formerly trained by Vader and the Emperor, cast out of the Inquisitorius, so now he's going off to work for the rebellion, so that, until he can prove himself to, or have his revenge on Vader, which I thought was really kind of interesting. These two people who had never met, had not talked, in the course or over a period of 4 weeks, come up with the exact same concept.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How weird is that? I mean, that's serendipitous at best.
I agree.
Yep. All right. Well, Daniel, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go to the discussion portion of our podcast, the one where, I don't know if anybody knows this, but, we can share our opinions, as though I lack many of these. So anyway, let's move on to Way of the Force.
Now, Don's been cooking up this idea, and he's actually started a campaign based upon it. That's we're calling it Star Wars Infinities. I don't know where'd you get the name from? Did you just come up with it?
Well, Star Wars Infinities refers back to the old Dark Horse comics, which had a series of, I think it was 3 different Infinities titles, which was nothing more than sort of like a rewrite or alternate reality story. There was 3 of them, I think 3 each for each of the 3 eras. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, 3 movies, not era. New Hope, Empire, and Jedi.
Okay.
And that's where I got it. So that's sort of the label that I am just kind of like using broadly whenever someone comes up with like an alternate idea for Star Wars, I throw that under the Star Wars Infinities title.
I got you.
So, well, real quickly, guys, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I've actually found that there are two camps of people. I know this is going to sound incredible, but it's true. It falls into the Canites and the non-Canites. Dun, dun, dun. They shall never meet. They shall never get together for Thanksgiving dinner. They will not send postcards to one another. So basically, I have the Canaanites who just are not happy with this at all, and then you've got the non-Canaanites. All right, this is what we've got. Lucas originally envisioned the final battle in Return of the Jedi to take place on or around Kashyyyk with the Wookiees. Mm-hmm. That was established fact after Empire Strikes Back. Now, I have recently read some information that I don't agree with and cannot be verified that, actually it was going to be on Kashyyyk, but he decided not to because of production and he just couldn't make it look as good as he wanted. So he went with the whole Endor thing. So going through and looking at established information, what I was able to find out was that there are 3 moons above Kashyyyk. 2 of them have been colonized. So it's very easy to take Endor, in quotation marks, and place it on one of those moons above Kashyyyk, and then put the Death Star 2 in the Kashyyyk system. It's just changing things around a little bit. The Ewoks on the moon are replaced with Wookiee freedom fighters, and the thought process on this was that 2 of those 3 moons had been colonized, which means that there were probably small Wookiee colonies or cities there, towns. I wouldn't say they're cities, but towns established there. And when the Trandoshans have been coming through with the blessing of the Empire to basically grab Wookiees and sell them into slavery, well, let's face it, which is easier, trying to go into established Wookiee cities first or these small colonies? Well, obviously the small colonies. So those Wookiees that escaped into the forests and have been trying to keep to themselves, and that's how they get found and used to attack the Emperor and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know. To me, it just seems to be more. I don't know. I like it better than the Endor stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, that's just one way that you can kind of take established canon information and sort of like twist it to however you want. And that's really the big thing about Star Wars is your mileage may vary sort of thought process. You know what? Daniel's Star Wars is not my Star Wars, is not C.R. McNeil's, is not Garkle's, is not Chris Campbell's, it's not Mike Fraley's. The thing is that we do share the same universe, but we don't necessarily see the universes the same way. And that is something that I ran into a couple weeks ago playing in someone's Cyberpunk 2020 game. I came into it with preconceived notions of what the setting and the story and everything like that was going to be because I'd spent 20 years playing it with the same group of people, and we all played at the same sort of setting, same sort of atmosphere. And wow, that was an eye-opener. So anyway, that's me on my soapbox.
What matters is how your players handle it, how they've been doing with it.
Actually, believe it or not, and I was very surprised by this, my players didn't bat an eye at all. I explained it at the beginning. I said, this is what we're doing, and this is how my universe, at least at this point in it, diverges from established canon. I think that they were the story that I wrote is actually quite good, and it's going to be appearing in next issue of Wild Space Magazine, so people can take a look at it. But I think in this case, I don't think people, first of all, number one, gave it a whole lot of thought. but that the story that it was around it was really what was important. The idea of whether the Death Star and Endor were above Kashyyyk or above a gas giant in the Outer Rim area really was kind of secondary to the actual story.
Okay.
At least that's how I came by it. I mean, now you had looked at this idea originally, and you were sort of skeptical of it. I mean, you kind of were firmly entrenched in the Canaanite sort of group, weren't you?
Yep, and I kind of still am, but that's just the way I run it, you know. And this term that I've heard a lot recently is Fiat, and that's my way of seeing it. You know, it's your game, and you run it the way you want to.
Yep.
Most importantly, make it the most importantly, run it the way that the players can enjoy it.
Exactly.
Now, your story, I could not grok because, to me, Endor is Endor and Ewoks are Ewoks, no matter what, if you like them or not, just like Gungans are Gungans. I'll have Gungans in my games. I'll have Ewoks in my games. I had an Ewok player for a one-shot one time. The most important thing is that you set up a good story that keeps your players going.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sort of trying to think of. Well, you did see that I have two versions of that, where the intro is there's the canon version and then there's the non-canon version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I had Mike take a look at that and give some ideas on it. And of course, you know, I think I could just caught him at a busy time because I didn't get a whole lot of feedback. And you just still don't grok it, even the canon version.
Even the canon version, it's hard for me to wrap around my head. But that's neither here nor there. I would actually be interested in playing it, to be honest. Running.
Well, I mean, all the beginning part is just setting information. Like, I mean, all right. Now, I'm not trying to convince you, but I'm just like, what? How could you not grok it? All right. For those who are out there, just real quickly, the very beginning part of the canon version is that it takes place like about 3 days after Return of the Jedi. And what's happening is the Rebel fleet had counterattacked the Imperial fleet after the Death Star 2 was destroyed. And because they had lost the Emperor and they could not find Vader, they were routed and ended up having to run. So at this point, the Admiral Akbar is trying to get the Rebel fleet back into some semblance of order, and it is decided that they're going to make a strike on Kashyyyk to free the Wookiees, because that is a symbolic thing to show the rest of the people in the galaxy that, look, you know what, we're gonna start making things right, and we're going to start with one of the biggest supporters of the Old Republic and a group of people who have been unjustly wronged. And so they're going to go off and they're going to liberate Kashyyyk. So the beginning of this adventure takes place 3 days after Return of the Jedi, with the Rebel fleet in hyperspace exiting into the Kashyyyk system and entering into space combat with the Imperial forces there. And then that is pretty much the setup. What's not the grok?
I'll make you a deal. I'll read it all, and I'll give it another chance. How about that?
No, I don't want you to read my adventure. Yeah.
Okay, fine then.
Yeah, you're off my Christmas list.
Woohoo!
Yeah, no more butt monkey pictures for my Christmas cards from me, right?
And now
it's
for
like
the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna move on to movies.
Yeah, all right. Movies.
What do you got for a movie this week, Daniel?
1984.
Ooh, which version?
There's one version. I was only aware of the older version that, from what I can remember, is very, very simple. It was older. Like
Roddy McDowall?
Yes.
That's a great version of the movie. I like that one.
Yeah, well, Roddy McDowall was an awesome actor, too. Rest in peace. How it applies to Star Wars. The players, during the course of an adventure, through an attack, through ship damage, through a hyperspace accident, end up on a planet that is controlled by a computer. Players have to deal with a society that has been so babied by this computer that they're not allowed to do anything without its permission, express permission. So dealing with the issues that Orwell brought up in the movie about personal freedom and the advances of technology would really make for I would see the players coming out of an adventure based upon this movie with a serious look afterward.
Yeah, that's a pretty dark movie. I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. I even like a lot of the visuals in it. And I think those are things that you can take into your game, describing the buildings and the oppressive nature of media control and stuff like that. I think, that would be very cool.
What about you?
I took From Paris with Love.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this story, James Reese, who is an ambitious aide to the U.S. ambassador in Paris, is doing little jobs, side jobs for the CIA, hoping to get into black ops. That's sort of like his dream, even if he's not really trained for it. And on the night he and his girlfriend Carolyn became engaged, he's told to pick up Charlie Wax at Orly. And Charlie turns out to be an unorthodox government employee. He's a large, bald, bearded, foul-mouthed eccentric. And Charlie immediately takes James on a wild ride of murder, mayhem, takes him through these ethnic enclaves. And basically, as the bodies pile up, the purpose remains pretty much opaque to James. Carolyn, unhappy that James has been out of touch for a day, tells him to bring Charlie for dinner. Charlie has a charming sort of like demeanor, but where will it lead? And does the chess-playing James have what it takes? So how does this equate into Star Wars? I was thinking of this more of a one or two, like if you only had one or two characters out of your group there that night that are not your combat-oriented folks, and they've got some spare character points sitting around. Maybe they want to up their blaster skill and take them on this ride where the special agent, Charlie, turns out is an NPC, and he just basically drags these guys through an op. I thought it would be fun for a one-off or an evening, sort of like beer pretzel, yell and shout kind of thing.
It would be good. That movie's got it's got a kind of a sixth sense of, not a sixth sense, but
dark.
Yeah, dark sense of humor.
I liked it.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Shooting Womp Rats. If you ever want to get in touch with us, it's very simple. We got all kinds of places to get in touch with us. We got a subreddit now, SWD6. If you go to Reddit, you enjoy it. I've been keeping up with it now, and it is pretty lonely. But that's SWD6. SWD6 Podcast on Twitter. I'm not too lonely there. Got some nice followers. Email is shootingwomprats@gmail.com. And, of course, you can find Don and I on Google+. Yeah, Google+.
Yeah, Star Wars D6 community, baby.
That's right. And
hey, we need to plug Wild Space Magazine, too.
We do. The second issue of Wild Space Magazine will be coming out in March.
Mm-hmm.
And we need your help. We had some great submissions for issue 1, and we are looking to up the ante yet again for issue 2. And as of right now, this date that we're recording, we haven't had anything. We have our usual suspects working on things.
Yeah, I tell you, I understand that people are probably deflating from holidays, and that is my hope. Just so you guys know, we do have a schedule for Wild Space Magazine for submissions. If you have an idea or something along those lines that you'd like to float, you can go ahead and send us an email at shootingwomprats@gmail.com. We would like the cutoff date for just submission ideas to be January. It would be Monday, January 12th. And, if you decide that this is going to be something that you want to continue, we ask that we stick to a schedule, which will be, I believe it's March 2nd would be the rough draft. March 23rd would be final draft, with final editing on April 9th. And then the actual publication will come out on, April 3rd. So we've got 3 months to get an article put together. So if you've got any questions or anything like that, like Daniel said before, there's a lot of ways to get a hold of us. The Shooting Womp Rats at Gmail. You can contact us on G+. We're pretty much available.
That's true. Well, on behalf of Shooting Womp Rats, I'm Daniel.
I'm done.
And may the force be with you.
Yeah, what he said. Be kind to your friends and neighbors, man. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.